So anyway, some of you know we had our 10th annual, my nonprofit organization, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. And we were rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. And so we've been around 29 years. We will be celebrating the 30-year anniversary next year, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. But we had our 10th annual men's conference, and we always do it on Father's Day weekend, the Saturday before Father's Day. And it was mind-blowing this weekend. Everybody and their daddy came from around the world. And so, again, I thank everybody for coming. I thank the volunteers, the males and the females. It was really, really amazing. All right? And so, yesterday, a number of the guys came to church to have a church service. And at the service, I met Andrew. And Andrew attended the conference with a friend of his and mine, Woods. And I've known Woods for a while. I've counseled with him. I've, talked to him. He's been to a couple of our meetings before. But I had not met you before, right, Andrew?
We met briefly at the conference.
Other than the conference, I had not met you before.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show today.
Yeah,
thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You were telling me that you came from the hotel right there by the airport, right?
Mm-hmm.
To here, to the studio.
That's right.
And how difficult was it with the traffic?
It took probably 20 minutes to go like a mile and a half, something like that. Just constant stop and go. Everybody loves to just blow through the green light, and then as soon as you get to the other intersection, it's backed up. So everybody's just sitting there in the next intersection, backing it up. It's like nonstop, just never ends.
So Andrew asked me, is that normal here in LA to be having? Are you guys used to that? Are the guests used to having to deal with that kind of?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's just coming in late all the time. I can't imagine.
So thank you for coming to the conference.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was talking to Andrew yesterday, right after the church. We were talking, become men don't chat, talking, and he was telling me about how he learned about Bond and a little bit about his life. And I thought, wow, this is so amazing. And I asked Andrew, would he come on the show and talk to me about some of these things, so you can see, folks, that you can overcome anything. All right, it's totally possible. So, Andrew, tell us about how you found out about Bond, found out about the conference.
Okay, so I have my buddy Woods. He's originally from Seattle, and I met him on our deployment. We were both in the infantry. I met him on our deployment. We ended up becoming roommates during the rest of our stint in the infantry. And when we both got out, he ended up convincing me to move out to Seattle. So we were out there, and he just texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm donating my Crown Vic to my pasture. Can you help me drive it down to LA?" And
yeah.
he told me that probably like a week ago, and I just called off work. I was, I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can, just take a break like that and not have any real consequences. So. Yeah, and I didn't know about you or what was really going on until we were pretty much at the Reagan Monument.
So you had not, prior to that, you had not heard about Jesse Peterson or the YouTube channel or anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
So he was like, yeah, this is the guy we're donating it to. We're going to this men's conference when we get into LA, pretty much right away. And he showed me some of your podcasts.
And what was your first impression of the podcast?
You have a way of making smart people look dumb. Yeah.
Smart people look dumb.
Yes.
What do you mean?
The way that you were questioning. One of the podcasts that he showed me was you talking to an MIT graduate, and you stumped him on whether or not he had anger.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just simple things like that. You just stumps people.
Right on, man. Yeah. Because God, when he's working through us, we're smarter than the people, than Satan who's working through the others. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
Right.
And so where are you from originally before you moved up to Seattle?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, okay. How old are you?
I'm 26, sir.
Amazing. And so you were in the military?
Yes, sir.
What branch?
I was in the Army.
Army. And one thing that really got my attention. Oh, let me first ask, how did you like the conference?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice. Everybody's incredibly polite and nice and very open.
Yeah.
Very
Very
open.
open, huh?
Yeah, very open.
And it was amazing to see men from around the world as well.
Oh yeah.
It was something else.
Yeah, there were people there from Britain. I think
Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah.
Just all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were you surprised about, because you had not gone to any of these things before,
Mm-hmm.
were you surprised by it?
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I met a couple of them. They have that parking garage, and so I had been going up and down trying to get stuff out of the car, and I just
Right.
kept running into people that were going down to your convention, and like I would, just walk. I'm not used to people just saying hi when you walk back. Like
Right.
that's not a thing in Baltimore. It's not a thing in Seattle.
Yeah.
People are very have their shield up.
Yes.
And so like just walking to the garage, everybody just being like, "Hey, how's it going? What are you going to the convention or the conference?" And like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" You know what I mean? Like,
I have never seen that many men at a conference before.
Right.
A serious conference.
yeah, I had never been to anything like that before.
Yeah.
I mean, I had been to like maybe a seminar or something like
Right.
that, but something completely different.
Yes.
Completely different.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So one thing that got my attention in talking to you yesterday after the church service, and by the way, thanks for coming up and introducing yourself
Oh yeah,
too.
of course.
Tell the folks what you have gone through in the military. What happened to you?
Yeah, so so I guess I forget. I don't know. I guess it was about 2 years into my contract or my enlistment. I was getting ready to go to Ranger School, and right before then, I got thrown on a training exercise, and I ended up, falling out of a helicopter pretty much, and I broke. They're called burst fractures. It's pretty much just a shattered vertebrae. So I had broke seven vertebrae in my lower back. I split my pelvis in half, and so I have a brace in there now, keeping it together. And then I crushed my heels. So
That's amazing.
yeah. So
How old were you at the time when that happened?
24. I think I turned 24 like a week later.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So when it happened, you were 23, and you
Yeah.
turned 24 a week later.
yes, sir.
And so you fell from a what?
From a helicopter. I fell from a Black Hawk at night during a training exercise. Fell 40 feet in full kit. And yeah, I guess I don't know if it's a good thing I landed on my feet, but
Oh, you landed on your feet, and it broke
like a
all those
cat.
bones.
Yeah, crushed my heels. I guess I landed in a squat. It's actually a miracle that I don't have any knee issues, no knee issues,
Right.
no joint issues really for the most part.
And so you landed flat on your feet,
Flat on my feet.
and it crushed the bones in your feet.
Crushed the bones in my feet. I guess all the pressure from landing that squat is what made my pelvis, the bottom of my pelvis, break open like that.
Wow.
Right? And then I guess I landed on my tailbone, and then that pressure is what, shattered the vertebrae.
How did you manage to fall out of a Black Hawk?
It's just a dangerous job, and just got caught up messing up.
And so while you were falling at 23 years old, what were you thinking while you were falling before you hit the ground?
When you're stumbling down the stairs at night and it's dark out and you miss a step,
Yeah.
and you feel your stomach go up. Yeah, it was that pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
And while you were falling, during the fall itself, did you think you were going to die?
I didn't have enough time to think about anything.
How
you know
long
what I
did it
mean?
last?
What, the pain or the
The fall.
Oh, I mean, it felt like forever.
Oh,
Felt
yeah?
like forever, yeah. And then I just remember just smacking the ground, and like when you stub a toe, like Family Guy, and you go like ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much that, but just like a full lung, of air just screaming at the top of your lungs, and then I remember like sitting down on my back, looking up, and just seeing just getting beaten by air from the helicopter, just sitting up there. You know what I mean? I just had to
Wow.
wait for everybody to settle back down and finally do something. The worst part of the whole thing was being put on the spine board because, like I said, I had 7 crushed vertebrae and everything, and you're on your back, and they have to lift your body up, like turn your body over to put the spine board underneath and then put you back on top of that. So when they're doing that, they're trying to keep you as straight as you can,
Yeah.
as they can, but they're still twisting your back and everything. So all those crushed vertebrae in my lower back, I could just feel them just,
Wow.
grinding. And then and then I ended up waking up. This was in Tennessee or in Kentucky. Fort Campbell, where the 101st is
Okay.
right on the Tennessee-Kentucky border.
Right.
So so I was lucky. They took me to the Army hospital, but they weren't capable of doing any spine or surgeries or anything like that. So they sent me to Vanderbilt. So I flew into Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt's a great hospital.
Yeah.
They did a great job. They took care of me. It was great.
How long did it take you to heal?
So that my accident was August 31st. I was bedridden for like 3 weeks, couldn't do anything, and then after all my surgeries, I was in a wheelchair for about 5 months.
Are you healed now? Everything is back to normal?
For the most part, I'm never gonna be 100%, you know,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I'm walking around. I don't really have much of, you know, a limp or anything like that.
Right.
Certain things bother me, like I can't just run 3 miles like I used to or anything
Right.
like that. I can sprint, but nothing crazy.
And that's amazing, man. You don't look
appreciate it.
like you've been through anything.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's just, you know, just I'm a grinder. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I have to offer. I
Yeah.
can just put my head down and just, you know, grind away.
What does that mean?
Grinding?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just you know, for everything that I do, like I'm not smart. For me to study or, you know, keep up, I have to put in twice the amount of time or
Right.
effort that other people do.
Yes.
And I'm used to that. That's how my whole life has been. Every time I
Right.
played a sport, I've always been, you know, the smaller guy on the team who's trying to keep up with these bigger, stronger guys. You know, that's just how my life has always been. So I'm just used to it at this point.
That's right.
Yeah.
Amazing. So like you're healed now, or is it still healing?
I'm healed. I think I'm as healed as I'll ever get or ever be.
So all your bones are back together again?
Yes, sir.
The back is fine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the my back, I very rarely have issues with it. It's if I do something stupid, like if I go to pick something up and I twist and I just treat it, you know, wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. And so once that happened, you had to retire from the military, right?
Yeah, I got medically retired. They gave me the option to stay in because I healed so well, but and I was able to go back to the infantry, or I had the option to. I didn't because I'd be the weakest link.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's a job where you can let your pride just say like, oh, I'm gonna go back because I can. So you could get people killed.
Yeah.
You know, you
That's
could
a good
do
point.
anything to, you know, and I don't know. I feel like physically I probably could have done it, but I don't know for how long,
Right.
you know, and what it would have done to my body if I would have gone back wouldn't have been worth it.
And so how long had you been in the military before this happened?
Before that happened, I think 3 years.
3 years?
3 years,
Oh,
2 or 3
okay.
years, not long.
Amazing, man. Were you post-traumatic stress thing? Did you go through that?
Not because of like war or anything, but I definitely had a lot of trauma from the actual accident. And most of it was just me beating myself up about it. Like, you're stupid. How could you have done that? Like, you're a good soldier. Like, you knew what you were doing. I think that most accidents in life happen when you're comfortable doing something. It's something you've done hundreds of times.
And you had
you're
done
so
that
comfortable.
jump before.
Oh, I'd done it hundreds of times.
Oh,
I had
okay.
done what we were training. I'd done it hundreds of times. We all had.
Yeah.
You know, it's when you're comfortable doing something and then you start skipping steps because you're so comfortable and confident in it. That's when a mistake happens.
And that's
right?
what you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Essentially.
And so you, at one point, you were post-traumatic. What do you call it? Stress?
I think they call it post-traumatic stress disorder.
Something-
I wouldn't say I ever really had that. I had a lot of trauma from just that experience, and I never really was like, oh, I have issues from this, but you know, I spent most of my life training to get to the point of where I was physically and mentally, and you know, I sacrificed so much to be in the position I was in, and then just like that,
Yeah.
you know, it's taken away from me. And
Yeah.
your biggest asset one of your biggest assets as a man, let alone an infantryman, is your body and your health. You know, and like, you know, I lost that in that accident.
And I'm sorry, what year did this happen in?
2016.
Oh, okay. Would you, if you were able to, would you go back to the military?
Yeah, I miss it every day. I wish I could go back.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you decide to go into the military? Well, how old were you when you joined?
When I joined, I was 20, 21.
And what made you decide to join the military?
The camaraderie and the whole aspect of being part of a brotherhood, and just knowing that it was going to suck, and going through that with other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so you would go back if you could.
In a heartbeat.
And why would you go back?
Because I know the type of relationships you can build, and just the experiences that you have. I mean, I have dear friends that I've known since kindergarten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we still keep up and everything. But I've known them for, let's just say, 20 years. They're guys that I know in the Army that I spent 2 years with. You know what I mean? And I'd say that I'm probably closer to them just because of the experiences we went through. Like Woods, I met him on our deployment. That guy's my best friend.
Yeah.
He could say, hey, I need help with anything, and I'd risk my job security to do it, to help him.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Right
that's just
on.
the type of friendships that you build in the Army, and specifically the infantry.
I've talked to Wood several times. I met him here. He seemed to be that kind of a person.
Yeah.
I feel like he's my son or something, like he's my little brother. I feel close to him.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys like that.
And I have not been in the military. It's
Yeah.
just something about him that, you just feel close to him.
Yeah. Most guys in the infantry are loving and, respectful, and I don't know. Sometimes you have guys that are like, pump out their chest and act more masculine than they really are. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And that's,
Faking it.
Yeah, and that type of environment where you're in the infantry, like you kind of just let go of your ego, and it's like kind of, what's the saying, like real recognizes real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so how has life been for you since being out of the military? What's this been like? What's this been for you?
It's great now. When I first got out, so right after my accident, I was depressed for a while because it was like an identity issue, right?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to do now? What should I do? What's right? And where do I fit in society now? Not just as getting out of the Army, but just being broken. You know what I mean? And so when I first got out, I went home for like a month, and I bought a car, and then I just drove out to Seattle. And Woods actually flew out to Chicago and helped me with the rest of the drive. And so I got to Seattle, and have you been to Seattle?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the polar opposite on the spectrum from being in the infantry in the Kentucky, Tennessee border to going to like the most progressive city in America. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, yeah, I definitely don't fit in here. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, you're in the Army, like, oh, you're square. I don't know.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like going into insanity up there.
Yeah, so I definitely did not fit in, and I just didn't want to go there and leave without getting something out of it. So I just stayed there, and I'm still living there. But after like 5 months of being there, I just like kind of hit rock bottom. Like psychologically, I was just like, what am I doing here? Like this is a huge mistake. All my money is just getting blown because of the cost of living is so outrageous. I get 80% VA disability, and that's like I think it's like $1,300 a month. That's my rent.
Wow.
Yeah. So like my
Especially
rent.
there.
Yeah, that's my rent, and so it's like I have just enough money or security, a buffer for my rent, and then everything else, it's just on me.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I can scrounge.
Yeah.
I don't.
Right.
I'll be fine. But it was like just bleeding out money like that, and not being happy, not having a social group. In the Army, you're forced to make friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have your team. You guys are going to be best friends. You don't have a choice.
Right.
When you move out to the civilian sector or life or whatever, you don't have that.
Yeah.
And that was definitely something that I struggled with. And I went home. I went home when I was, depressed or down or whatever. And I spent about a month there. And then I thought of you because of this. Well, yesterday, that's one of the reasons why I came up. I ended up having this discussion with both my parents, separate occasions. And I don't even know what really sparked it, but I just kind of started talking about just life and everything, and then kind of just forgave him. not
Right
really
on.
forgave him. You know what I mean by that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and my mother took it terribly. She took it terribly, and I to be fair, I when we were talking about this, we were like in a restaurant bar kind of thing, like sitting at a high top, and she just started crying in front of everybody, and I don't handle that well. I'm standing there like, oh, mom, please, like, just stop. And she's freaking out, but we came to terms with everything, and both my relationships with my mother and my father have been great ever since.
Right on.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that kind of helped me out a lot.
Right on.
Yeah.
Why did your mother take it so hard? All you were doing, you were forgiving her. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
I think it
hate
was
you
that
anymore.
I think it was that she didn't know, for all these years, and I don't think that she can really accept it. I mean, I have I'm the youngest of quite a few siblings. I have both my parents were married once before they married each other, and they both had
Oh.
kids. So I have two older brothers on my father's side, an older brother on my mother's side, and then when they got married, they both had four, including me,
That's
a daughter
amazing.
and three sons.
A lot of
I'm the
white
youngest.
babies.
A lot of white babies, and a lot of white babies. But the oldest one, my father's 85.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a product of a 59-year-old man and a 43-year-old woman.
Right on.
Yeah, and but my point is that they're all spread across the country. They're all spread across the country, and she has a lot of issues with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But she wanted them around her.
she wants them around her. Yeah, my sister moved up to Victoria, British Columbia, like as far away as you can get
Getting
from
away from
Baltimore.
mama.
Yeah, get away from mom. My brother is he just got out of SF, and now he just got into Harvard Business School, and so he's just all over the place. My other brother moved down to Austin. You know what I mean? So she just doesn't realize that something's happened where
Yes.
everybody's just spread out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a direct correlation to her.
It is. I'm surprised that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she hasn't followed them around because
Yeah.
the mothers,
tries.
women like to control so
Yeah.
much. They'll follow you wherever you
Oh
move
yeah.
to.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she talks about it all the time. Oh, we're gonna move out to Seattle or something. I'm like, don't, because then I'm
Right.
just gonna move back to, I'll move to Tennessee or Nashville or something. I mean, I love her with all my heart. I really do.
I
but-
understand that, but make sure you let her know, don't move out here. I don't
Yeah.
want you here. If you do, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And so, are you dating now?
I'm not dating. I don't actually have a girlfriend. I get out a lot, and I have good relationships with women.
Meaning that you're having sex with them?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm be honest with
Yeah,
you. I'm
no,
not
I
gonna-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get
A
you.
lot of things. I'm not a liar.
And so, are you over the post-traumatic stress thing, or do you still get sad and lonely and all that stuff?
Not really. And that's something that kind of happened the past few months, where I kind of broke out of my shell.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in a slump, you don't know it
Yeah.
until you've hit rock bottom. You're just like, God, I am so unhappy. Like, what is going on? And then you actually reflect on the past, however, 6 months or a year.
Yes.
And then that's when you realize, you know what I mean?
That's right, man.
Yeah.
What is rock bottom for you?
Rock bottom is just,
You say you hit rock bottom.
yeah, for just not finding happiness in anything, not wanting to do anything. I mean, I was playing video games, like chronically masturbating, not building any friendships. You know what I mean? I was just sitting there in my own little dungeon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like the unhealthiest thing you can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like the stereotypical, like, I'm out in Seattle and it's raining outside. I'm just going to be in my cave and not do anything.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then,
Wow. Well, I'm glad you've overcome that.
yeah, yeah. So am I. I don't know.
Are you over all of your anger now?
Yeah.
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 You don't get angry at yourself for the fall or anything anymore?
No, no, I don't. No.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
man. Good. And so how's life for you right now?
Great.
Great.
Yeah. I thank God every day. And
Yeah.
I didn't even know how angry I was until I got out of that slump. You know what I mean? Where I was just mad at God, and really I should have just been grateful. I don't know. I believe in a God. I don't know if I believe in Catholicism or what.
Right.
I do believe that there's something, and instead of when my accident happened, instead of me thanking God that I'm alive and that I have the few issues that I do comparably,
Yes.
I was sitting there mad, like, why did that happen to me? Like, why did my career get ruined? You know, everything was going so well. You know, I just looked at all the negative instead of just being like, oh, I'm alive. Like, I don't even have knee issues.
That's right, man.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
should be thanking God every day. And I feel selfish and stupid for
You were
having done anything.
blaming God at first.
Yeah, right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And did you blame yourself too?
I do blame myself. Yeah,
You
that was
blame
my
yourself
fault.
for not being aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for just not doing what I should have been doing.
How long, do you remember how long you stood there once you hit the ground before the rescue came?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was like 5 or 10 minutes.
Did you go unconscious at any point?
No, not that I know of.
And so while standing there and all, was it like really painful, or it just felt like
Yeah, it
like
was,
a mistake had happened?
it was very painful. I remember screaming for, it seemed like forever, and then by the time everybody got, like, actually came down and figured out what had happened,
Yeah.
by that time, they actually told like a story about how they all thought I was dead because I was just sitting there like not moving or talking, and then they came up and I was just like, hey guys, like, can somebody please help me? Like, everybody's just standing over me like, what should we do? You know, but
That's amazing.
yeah, I mean, it gets to the point where, like, well, in that situation, like, you can't do anything. Like, I knew I broke my back. Like, there was
Right.
no mistake there. And then it's like the worst thing you can do is try to get up on your feet. Thank God I didn't, seeing that I had crushed heels, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, and, you know, if you break your back and, like, if they're, like, have you ever seen videos or whatever of people in terrible car accidents?
Yes.
And bystanders are sitting there pulling them out of the car?
Right.
That's the very last thing you want to do. That's the last thing you want to do.
Because of the bones being
Yeah, because if
broken.
they have a broken neck or a broken back and they're in shock, they don't know.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there jolting their body around and messing with stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Amazing.
unless the car's on fire, like there's gas leaking or something
Right.
like that, you leave them.
You leave them there.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so, anything you disagree with me about, you just found me and just kind of start listening.
Yeah, I don't honestly know enough about you to say to really answer, but
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
most of the things that I agree with most of the things you say. I think the shaving thing is pretty funny. I don't shave. I come from a family
Yeah.
of naked mole rats, though. So, like, if I don't shave this,
Yeah.
it just looks so bad.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
so
you should
bad.
shave your face if you
Yeah,
want to.
Yeah, but like,
you
I don't
shave your
shave my
body.
chest. I don't shave, I
Yeah.
don't shave my butt.
What do you think
I know people
about
that do, it's
men who shave like women?
Who shave, like, I just don't
They be
understand
shaving
it.
their legs and
I don't
body
understand
parts and all
Yeah,
that.
I don't understand it. The people that I do know who do that are womanizers. Guys,
So
like
they
studs.
become like a woman.
And so that they just know that, like, at least the women that they go for like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I know. I feel like for the most part, women like hairy men,
they do.
but I don't know about like a hairy back. You know what I mean? Hairy like shoulders. Stuff
Yeah, they like
that.
everything. Women like everything about a real man.
Yeah.
It's just that if they can control you and recreate you in their image,
Yeah.
they would do it if you let them do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's funny. When you were talking about that the other day, I thought of my mother because I remember whenever she'd see like a man with like a beard, like a masculine beard, she'd be like, "Oh, that's disgusting," and she'd be like, "Oh, I like clean-shaven men." You know what I mean? I was sitting there just like, "Oh man, like all these things that I'm just now realizing." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Amazing, man. So let me just ask you about the sex thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to wait until married to have sex, or is it okay to be having it out of wedlock?
I don't know. I think it can be unhealthy especially if you don't get married young, right? Like if you don't get married until you're 30,
Right.
and not having sex until you're 30, I think that's very unhealthy.
Unhealthy?
I think that's unhealthy for your psyche.
In what way?
I think that when you're in your sexual prime, after you hit puberty in your mid 20s, I think you should be having sex.
Why?
I just feel like if you don't, you're just going to get so pent up, and you're just going to, I think that can kind of, I don't want to say be dangerous, but you know what I mean? Like everybody's just backed up, everybody gets tense, their shoulders are up, like, it looks like you could poke them and they'd pop, you know what I mean? It's just, getting that weight off your chest, or out of your gut, I guess. But
I gotta add, but women are sex dealers and men are sex addicts.
Yeah,
Addicts,
absolutely.
right? And so when they have sex out of wedlock, they're controlled by the women.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't know if it's really okay. I think that's just a product of everything going on. I mean, I know Troy wasn't a real place, but I mean, like, women have so much power over men. I mean, that's
Only because of the sex thing.
just because of sex.
Two reasons that they have power over men.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mothers made the boys turn toward her and away from the father.
Right.
And so they resent the mother for that. And the
Right.
moment you resent her, you become controlled by her.
Right.
And you become like what you hate, right?
Right, yeah.
And so, like, when you go out into the world, you are attracted to what you hate.
Mm-hmm.
You're attracted to the same spirit that's in your mother.
Yeah.
And so you get with these women, you're having sex with them thinking that you're getting love, when you're really getting sex and getting control.
You're filling a void, an empty space that you
right.
have as a
And so they're
product of-
controlling you.
Right.
And women are not as into sex as men,
Right.
but they'll do it just to have that control
to
over
have
you.
the control.
Yeah. And men are not supposed to do that because they're supposed to lead the woman.
Right.
Because when they have control over you, see, there's this order of God in Christ, Christ and man, man over woman, woman over children. So
Right.
when they have control, they'll defining you, recreating you in their
Right.
image.
Right.
Instead of being made in your image, because the woman came from the man, so she's made in his image. But the men are allowing them to recreate them in their image, so you end up like a woman instead of a woman
Yeah.
being like a man.
Yeah, the main reason why I hadn't been dating is because I've had resentment towards my mother, and like I found that it would lead to problems in my relationships. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, like I'd have like tendencies, like I would react the same way that my mother would react, or I would
Yes.
handle, and I just didn't like that. I
Yes.
didn't like that to the point where I was like, okay, I have to just stop dating. But then, I'm sitting there like, well, I still need to have sex. But
You became like your mother.
yeah, and
That's your energy.
my parents divorced when I was 8, and I stayed with my mother because my father left the house. Right. I still saw my father every week, and the big thing with me and him keeping up was sports.
Right.
So I got to I had that. It's not like I lost my father.
Right.
We still have a great relationship.
Good, man.
But I think my saving grace was my stepfather, the man my mother married.
Yes.
They got married when I was in high school, so it was like right at the perfect time for me to have a real father figure. And they started dating when I was like 14, so around when I starting to hit puberty and everything starts going crazy, and you really just need a father figure there to just teach you how to.
Did he protect you
Yeah.
from your mother?
Yeah,
He's protecting you from your mother?
yeah, he does a good job, kind of keeping everybody in peace.
Good, man.
He's a good. He's like the cornerstone. You know?
I don't recommend that men and women get married who already have children.
Right.
Because the children need the love of the parent.
Right.
The real love of the
Right.
parent, especially the fathers. And I think it's very selfish when parents bring other men or the man bring other women into their lives.
Right.
And it separate them from their children even more so.
Yeah, I know. So my brother on my mother's side has a lot of father issues.
Yeah.
And so his father, he was, I don't know too much about him. I know that I think he's a truck driver. I think he has like emphysema. I think he's about to pass. But when him and my mother divorced, he pretty much just split. And Jim, my brother, has all kinds of father issues because of that, right? And
Because
then
his father split,
because
right?
his father split and actually took off, moved down to Florida from Baltimore. And then when my father and my mother started dating, and my father never treated him like a true son.
Yeah.
You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and so Jim, has all sort of issues, father
When
issues.
next time you
and-
talk to him, tell him to forgive his mother.
Yeah.
Because she was wrong for getting with another man, and forgive the father for leaving him with the
leaving
mother.
him, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he had that longing for the father, that emptiness
Yeah.
is that he wanted his real father.
Yeah. And last time I saw him, I remember talking to him about it, like just like, his relationship with my father. And, I know that I don't have any part to play in it, right? Like,
Yeah, that's right.
But still, like, it's like you guys have to talk and just like have a heart to heart and just figure it out. Because if you don't, that's going to eat you.
When kids don't accept step parents because the soul yearns for the natural parent,
Right.
not for a step parent.
Right.
And step parents can never fulfill that void that
void.
you have.
Right.
You really need to return to your natural father.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I want to take some calls, and I'm totally enjoying talking to you.
Oh yeah, this is great. I can't thank you enough for having me on.
Right on. So, Joel, you met Joel, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He black.
Oh yeah.
So, let's see. Oh, first thing is, this is from Facebook. Nick on Facebook. Jesse, today is my daughter Haley's birthday. Haley birthday. She's turning 14. Can you sing the birthday? Happy birthday. She loved watching your show. Haley, this song is for you. Birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Haley. And many, many Mamma Mia, hola, Cece, or more. 14 is an amazing age. So make sure you don't be angry. Drop all anger and you'll have a nice teen life. All right? I wish you well. And thanks for liking my show and watching it. I totally appreciate it. And thank you for Nick for telling me about your daughter, Haley. That's amazing. And the next one is from, what's this, Joel?
What? D-Live?
No, Chai Bird
Oh.
on Twitter.
Chippy the Bird on Twitch says, you want me to read it?
Yeah. Chippy the Bird.
He says, you helped rebuild me into a man by showing how much of a beta Destiny was. I'm Team Jesse now. Thanks to Jesse, I stopped being a Destiny fan and left the children of the lie.
Right on. Amazing. D-Live.
D-Live, yep. D-Live shout out, and thanks to Done No Anger Too Nasty, I.M.Lucky, Diallo, Flochinsky, C, Baconator, 14, Dark Side of the Bear, Moss Side, Army Ann, Ridge Tech, and shout out to Bubs Love for coming to the men's conference and church.
That's right.
Shout out to Bubs Love.
Shout out, bro. Buzz Love. Amazing.
And that's we got more. We opened the treasure chest on D-Live. Congrats to Army Ann, CLC, Super Dave, Dark Side of the Bear, and Spanglish. He knew, or she knew.
Right on. Thank you all very, very Mamma Mia hola much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Andrew, you know that I started July as White History Month?
As White History Month?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So this is next month, July, will be our second year of celebrating White History Month.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And then August is Men History Month.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's good.
I figure, they have Black history, woman history, gay history.
Yeah, spread the credit.
Mexican history.
Yeah.
All kind of history when it's really, and whenever you mention white history, it's always in a negative way.
Right.
And if it wasn't for white people, there would be no America.
Yeah.
And so why not appreciate the folks that made it possible for you to come here, right?
Right.
So everybody else is afraid to do it, but I'm like, no, I'm not gonna let this happen.
You don't care, yeah.
And I do it on July because July just feel white.
Yeah. That's nice. Can I have one of those?
Yeah, you can have this one.
Oh, I can have that one?
See on the back, it says July just feel
Yeah,
white.
That's nice. I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You can have that one. And so we're celebrating White History Month because white people are the most hated species on this side of heaven.
You think, yeah.
And it's unjustly. Should not be that way.
Yeah.
Whites have been afraid to speak up for themselves. So now everybody hate them because people hate weakness.
Right.
And then also we have the Great White Hope.
The Great White Hope, Donald Trump.
And then the Great Black Hope.
You know, it's pretty amazing that he's actually the president.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm blown away, man.
Yeah.
I'm on cloud nine. When he won, I went to cloud 9, and I've been dancing on the ceiling ever since.
Good. Yeah, hasn't he been joking about running for president for like 20 or 30 years?
Yeah, people had asked him about that.
Yeah, I remember there was like an episode of The Simpsons where they joked around about how he was going to be president, and that
Yeah.
was like back in like the early 90s.
That's
you know?
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, he's an example of what all men should become.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Matt on Facebook says that my mother had my brother's face shaved for his funeral. Man, he would have been angry. Face. Mama, crazy face. And Matt on Facebook says his brother died at 33 in Afghanistan.
Oh, I'm sorry. to hear
Yeah,
that.
I'm sorry to hear that too. That's amazing. Let me go back to Jason out of Buffalo. Jason disagreed with me about the Great White Hope. He also disagrees that abortion is worse than slavery. Jason, thank you for holding. You're on the air.
Yeah, we were talking about how he says abortions are worse than slavery.
Yes.
And it's like I still don't see how you see that.
Okay, so let me explain. Did the slave masters have the right to kill the slaves?
Did they have the right? They own the slaves, dude.
Did they have a right to kill the slaves?
I mean, it wasn't right they did it, but it wasn't right, but they did it, though.
And so does a woman have the right to kill the child in the body as though that's her slave?
That's not her slave. That's her child. Those are two different things.
So does she have a right to kill it?
Yeah, like if that's her decision. If it's like it depends on what she wants for her life. A lot of women end up being pregnant. And
So why didn't the slave master have the right to kill the slave when he got tired of it, but a woman have the right to kill a child in her body as though she's the slave master?
The difference is the woman, like, that's the rest of the woman's life, dude. It, like, that's her decision. Like, if she want to bring a child in, you know what it takes to bring a child in the world?
Yes.
What if she wasn't ready? What if it was the product of an incest or rape?
And so she
was not going to be a good father.
So the mother have a right to act as though she owned the body of a child, and so if she doesn't want it. If she doesn't want it, rather than put it up for adoption or something, she has the right to kill the slave. You saying that?
Carrying a baby for now, the toll it takes on the body.
So you're saying she has the right to kill it because she's tired of it, the toll of it?
No, she has the right to kill the child if she feels like that's the best interest of her.
So why didn't the slave master have a right to kill the slave if he felt that was the best interest of his? Let's say he got tired of feeding. I'm tired of feeding these people. I'm tired of housing them. I'm tired of caring about them or all that. Why didn't he just have a right to kill them then?
Why did he? Like, your question makes no sense. Like, those are two different things.
It made a lot of sense. He could have set them free. He could have put them over to another slave plantation or something. Why didn't he have the right to kill them if he was tired of them?
Why? Because killing a fetus and killing a person is two different things.
A fetus is a baby. It's a child.
No, it's not.
It is.
A baby is something on
they
the
only
outside.
changed the word to fetus.
A fetus and a baby are two different things.
No, it's not. They only changed that word.
Inside of a
Jason,
fetus is something that develops inside of a woman's body.
It's a baby developing, man. They only changed it to fetus. Jason, listen. Listen, cause I got
it's not a baby until it's born.
They don't want you to see it as a baby, so they changed the wording. What do you think it is?
That makes no sense.
Hold on, I'm gonna let the white man help you. Hold on.
With slavery, slaves were considered property, right?
Yeah.
So the slave master did have a right to do whatever he wanted with his slaves.
Right.
It wouldn't have made any financial sense for him to kill them, So I'm sure that's why. And I'm sure, plenty of slaves got killed. I don't know how many of them actually were killed by like their slave, owners.
Did he have the right to do it?
You don't know
he
how
technically
many
does, right? That's his property.
So hold on, Jason. Hold on. And so the woman think that her body is her own,
right?
And she think that the child that's in her body doesn't have a right, any rights at all.
I don't
and she can kill it whenever she wants.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Well,
and then
when you the baby got more rights than the woman.
Yes, the baby have a right to live.
And she doesn't have more rights than the woman.
And she doesn't have a right to kill it.
Stupid.
I don't think. Yeah, and then what about the man? Right?
Yeah, Jason. How about the father? It's his child. Does she have a right to just kill his child?
It's her body.
It's not her body.
You
So-
forcing women to be slaves by forcing them to have kids that they don't want to have. That's forcing a
That's
woman to
a
be a slave.
responsibility you
That is
have when you
that's-
get pregnant.
Hold on, listen to the
That's
white
what-
man, Jason. Go ahead,
When
Jason.
you get pregnant, that's your new responsibility. It doesn't matter what's comfortable for you or what you have to do. If you get pregnant, then every other thing in life is now second.
Thank you. You understand? I wish black
women
men
should come
understood
first.
like this.
Yo, like, all right, listen.
Have you noticed that the white
people?
people are smarter than the black ones?
No, I wouldn't
Yo,
say
the
that,
ain't no
man. I wouldn't
question
say
about
that.
you.
They
You
are.
know, the guy, like, got
You know,
angry,
listen,
like,
this is a
flooded the
black
world,
male
he killed
sound like a black
everybody, right?
woman. What do you think about this? Is a black male sounding like a woman?
What I think, I don't know. I don't know if it's just
White people are
not
smarter.
knowing. I don't know, man.
Don't you agree white people are smarter?
No, I don't know. You're asking me some hard questions now. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get beat up on the way to the car when I leave here. I'm trying to be smart about this.
Well, in case you don't know, white people are smarter. That's why they built America.
Well, Bill America.
And black people tear down America. Have you noticed that whenever they move to a white area, and if the white people leave, it turns into a ghetto?
Into a ghetto, yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunately true.
Right. So if they smart people, would it turn into a ghetto?
No. Well, I mean, like a ghetto. Yeah. I guess you're right. But,
Thank you.
But then what about like other ghettos, like back in the day, like the Jewish ghettos? You know,
And they turned them around.
They turned them around. Yeah.
Black people don't turn
The
anything
Italian
around.
ghettos, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They only make it worse.
I think that it's the sense of family isn't there.
They lack of more character.
Yeah.
The men are women.
The men or the women?
The men have become the women.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean the whole father figure thing.
Yeah.
That's it's toxic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jason,
Can I ask you a question?
real fast, and I got to run.
Yo, you said about anger and emotion. Didn't your guy get angry and emotional and kill everybody?
No.
He didn't do that. You don't remember the thing about the flood?
Yeah, but he didn't do it out of anger.
What did he do out of?
Love.
He killed all them people out of love.
Yes.
You should.
100%.
Stick to that.
100%.
100%. He killed everybody out of love.
Yes.
That makes no sense, man.
I know.
Like,
Jason,
everybody out of love.
How old are you,
Makes
Jason?
no sense, dude. 31, man.
Wow, I keep thinking you're younger. You sound so immature.
Who sound immature? You saying somebody killed people out of love? What kind of shit is that? That
You
makes no
can't say
sense, dude.
Jason, I got to run, but call me again, all right?
All right, I'll call you again, man.
All right, buddy. Oh, God. Isn't that funny? I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, it's it sounds like a real pain. I don't know. You I feel like your job is pretty stressful.
No, it's
No,
amazing.
yeah.
Because God
Yeah,
took away
well,
my anger. I have no anger.
Yeah.
The last 30 years, I've not had anger. And life is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's just words. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, that's why you don't have any anger, right? You over anger completely.
Yeah.
Don't speak up, but don't be angry.
Right.
And then give sex a try by not having sex.
Yeah.
Wait until marriage. See what happens.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll try.
Do my silent prayer.
So yeah, I don't even. So that was one of the things I wanted to ask you about because I wanted to talk to you yesterday during the service.
Right.
But I felt like I knew so little about everything that I didn't want to waste everybody's time.
You would not have been
I
wasting
need
anybody's
to. I need to look up this silent prayer thing and, figure that out.
Yeah.
But
It's silentprayer.video.
okay.
And what it is, when we are traumatized, we escape into the imagination to
Right.
try to survive,
So
right?
Try to hide and protect yourself.
Yes. But the imagination is our enemy.
Right.
There's no such thing as true thoughts.
Right.
But when we become of age, then we have to repent of that anger by forgiving our parents and whomever traumatized us. And then God will bring you out of the imagination.
Right.
Because every thought is a lie.
So what is that? Does that change, or did that change the way you view free will?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there is no such thing as
Is there
free.
no such thing as free will?
Right.
Based off
You're
of-
either controlled by evil
Right.
or controlled by good. Once you're born again,
Right.
you're controlled by good.
By good,
But
right.
anyone who has anger is controlled by evil.
By evil. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the silent prayer will slow you down so God can separate you from your imagination.
Do you believe in destiny? Is that completely off?
Well,
from
he was
what you're
weak.
thinking of?
He's weak. I
Yeah.
think hopefully he'll get strong.
No, destiny, like predetermined life, right?
Oh.
Like everybody. Who's Destiny? I don't even know what it was that.
I thought you meant the Destiny guy that was on the stage doing the panel discussion.
Oh yeah. So
The little weak liberal guy.
the
His
incel
name
or
is
whatever?
Destiny. Oh,
The incel.
well, that was the incel guy too, but Destiny was closer to where I was standing.
Okay.
Yeah, but his name is Destiny. His name is Stephen Bonell, I think.
Yeah.
But his I guess his show name is website name is Destiny or something.
Right.
But he's very weak.
Okay.
As far as Destiny, the one thing I am convinced of is that everything we need to know is inside of us.
Yeah.
Life is there.
Right.
And that God already has it laid out. And so once you overcome the fallen state, return to Him, your life just happens.
Yeah.
He draws you back unto Him, and then you just live. You just be.
Yeah.
And life is as His Son, life is already laid out.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of free will, but I don't know
It doesn't exist.
the older I get, the more, because like I swear I have deja vu. I've had deja vu of like years ahead, and
Right.
I've ended up in a situation where it's like, there's no way you could have guessed this.
Yes.
You could have rolled, 1,000. There's just no way. You know what I mean? Like
So you believe in free will?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I do. I believe in free will. But
So why don't you?
But I think that it's easy to be manipulated into different things like that, like what you're speaking of on sin. You know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Satan wants you to believe you have free will, so he wants you to think you're God
So
and you
that
can
you're
make your
making
life
your own.
be whatever you want it to
Right.
be. And he'll destroy you with that.
Right.
Because if we have free will, then we would never be in a fallen state, number one.
Mm-hmm.
We would never be angry, number two. And our life, we would make our own life perfect. No one would want to
Right.
make their lives unhappy and
Right.
lonely and sitting in a room all day masturbating.
Yeah, that's pretty rock. That's pretty bad, huh? Yeah, I was playing. Have you ever heard of PUBG?
No.
Oh my!
Oh, wait a minute. It's a what?
It's this game PUBG. You've heard of Fortnite, right?
No.
Okay, well, it's pretty much like a battle royale. So you're in an airplane, you jump out, you have a parachute, and you land with buddies, and it's like being in the army, right? And like you're the last team to survive gets a chicken dinner. It goes winner, winner, chicken dinner. And I would play this game with my friends. I'd play with like these four guys: Sweatman, Big Benny, and I would play that for like 8 hours a day.
Amazing.
Because I had nothing else. It was just like
Well,
so rock.
I really appreciate you coming on. I'm
Yeah.
totally out of time. They're like 20 minutes. 20 seconds, 10 seconds. Thank you for coming
Yeah,
on.
of
all right?
course. I
And thank you
appreciate
all
it.
for tuning in, folks, and calling in. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing. Bye.
I know we can have faith in the unseen while we stand up and get back to the way we were designed to be.
You must know that's so you get something went wrong, but
Check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show 'em who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth.